clients, primarily like with relocation, relocating to the Birmingham area. And I pretty much prime of my study will be looking at diverse neighborhoods for clients. So that way, when I do come to Birmingham, they can experience the best experience of Birmingham and not so much look at the past of Birmingham, but what Birmingham currently is and what it's going to be.
Awesome. That kind of sounds exactly like what we try to do with our recruits as well. So let's talk a little bit today about, I know that, housing is, the housing market is crazy in Birmingham right now, that there are people who are making offers on homes without doing inspections, offer over asking price, things like that. So part of being able to attract the best and brightest to our city is that they'll know that they have a place to land that feels like home to them. So typically we've concentrated our search in the past within areas that are very close to downtown, but we're finding that we need to expand a little bit to other areas. Talk a little bit about what some of those areas might be that would offer some affordable housing for other recruits to come into Birmingham.
Absolutely. Gosh, there is so much amazing affordable housing here that is just like a little diamond in the rough that a lot of people don't know about. But a lot of times it's just right next door to UAB. And a lot of the areas that I actually service in is going to be like the Woodlawn area, the Tarrant area, Irondale, Fultondale. Fultondale is about maybe less than 10 minutes to downtown UAB. Same thing with the Woodlawn. Woodlawn, 8 to 10 minutes. Tarrant, 10 to 12 minutes. The Avondale area. And the, let's see here, I would even say even along affordability on the other side where the Titusville area is. That's a very popular area right now. Gosh, I can remember when I was first starting real estate in Birmingham and Titusville area, you could buy a house for 30, 40,000 with no problem. Now you have houses over there that's going for 160 to 180,000. Again, they're still affordable, but that just goes to show how Birmingham is changing dramatically, even for the areas that they were considered to be the areas of Birmingham that were not as desirable, but a lot of the areas surrounding the area, they are doing a lot of revitalization in the area. So they're bringing a lot of new businesses to the area. So that way we can have an equal balance across the city. Okay. And I know a lot of times a lot of people, think about the school system, which is, justifiable. But there's so many great private schools that go on here as well.
So you typically find that if a family is moving to the area, if they're moving to a Fultondale or to a Woodlawn area, Tarrant, things like that, they would need to entertain the idea of private school for their children.
Well, this depends on the individual. Again, those schools are great schools. Right. I have clients that have kids that goes there and they love their school. So it really just depends on the individual, but there is always that option of private schools, just depending on what they require and what their expectations are of the school system.
Okay. Talk a little bit too about the safety and the diversity of those areas you mentioned.
Yes. I mean, so all those areas right there, again, when you're having revitalization going on in those particular areas, you have a lot more security presence there, just because of the fact that they're trying to bring those same areas up just like any other area that surrounds the downtown area. So if people look online and they go to the grading system for crime rates, they can go to even their local jurisdiction and see what the crime rates are for those areas. And a lot of times when they actually do the statistics on these areas, they're really it's really broad versus if you just call and actually speak with the department, they can give you more specific and details as to actually what is causing that particular crime rate. I mean, we never want to compare something so petty as not that any particular crime is not justifiable.
There's a scale. For sure.
They're just scaled. Right. So, but no, those areas, it's very walkable. I mean, goodness, I mean, Woodlawn, Avondale, they have a walking trail all the way down from the Avondale area, all the way down through Woodlawn, and
connecting it to the Rotary Trail
they're
eventually
connecting
as
it.
well.
Absolutely. East
Right.
Lake. I mean, you have a beautiful lake out there that people are definitely utilizing now.
Right.
So I just see so much great things going on every time I go over there, and so much diversity across the board. And I'm talking about from the aspects of race. I'm talking about from religion. It's just gender. I mean, you're seeing so much diversity going on.
Okay, fantastic. What would you tell clients who are coming to town who are interested in public schools? And some affordable communities that also offer public schools that are of a higher caliber, where they wouldn't even feel like they need to consider private school?
Yes. So I always recommend set up a time to go on a tour of a school. You know, it's
Good
nothing
advice.
like actually going on a tour. I mean, these schools are so open to wanting people to come and tour their schools. I've taken several tours of different schools, and it was just absolutely amazing. I wouldn't be as educated about these schools if I had not went on tours and actually spoke to the faculty and staff and students
Right.
to get their experience.
Okay, so would you say that there are areas, are there parts of Hoover that are affordable, that are easy to get to Birmingham, to UAB from?
Absolutely. Definitely the Alfred Avenue area. Alfred Avenue is it's not even 10 minutes from
Right.
UAB. And it's
Mhm.
affordable. You're talking about anywhere from the mid 250s to about the mid 350s. So very affordable, good size homes. You're talking about a minimum of maybe about 1,500 square feet on up to 3,000 square feet. So you can get a lot of home in that area over there with the Alfred Avenue Bluff Park area of Hoover.
Right, and from there, you really do have access to all of Highway 31. You're right there at
Absolutely.
65, the Galleria, 459, everything is right there.
Yes, and the thing that I love about it is that a lot of the elementary schools are very close. They're like in the neighborhoods. So a lot of it's walkable for a lot of kids. So and like I said, and that's primarily with the Bluff Park area. They have a lot of walkable schools just in the Hoover school system. They have a lot of walkable areas for kids to get to the school system. And they do have buses. So that's a big deal. I know West Homewood, again, that's another beautiful area
Sure.
that's pretty affordable to downtown. It's going to take you about 7 to 8 minutes to get downtown. Most of your houses are going to start maybe in the lower, I would say upper 290s to the lower 300s and go on up. But again, you have a walkable elementary school right there, and it's close to downtown. You're close to shops. You're close to I-65. It's really good. Now, again, the houses won't be as large as they would be in Hoover, but again, you still have great school systems right here that's really close to UAB.
Right. It's surprising how close the elementary schools are, just right there in West Homewood. Just you could be just a block away or right across the street. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And you know, a lot of the recruits, they actually can go online and look at the school grade system. And it will give the grades for those particular schools. So that way it'll, along with the tour, it will help, you know, justify what decisions they want to make when it comes to schools for their kids.
Right, great. So some people are definitely interested. Some people love older homes. They love the character of an older home. And of course, they might find that in some place like Bluff Park and get an amazing view. Some people love new construction. So can you talk a little bit about what affordable new construction looks like in the area?
Absolutely. So if I was to compare, let's just say new construction in Avondale and new construction in Hoover. So at Avondale, you'll be able to get about a 1,500 square feet for about the lower 400s. I would even say the upper 300s. You'll be able to get that in Avondale with no problem. And again, Avondale only being about, gosh, maybe 7 to 9 minutes to get downtown. But in Hoover, yeah, you're going to have a little bit more of a drive, but you will be able to get that 3 2, possibly even a 4 3 in Hoover. But it's going to be a little bit more of longer of a drive. But you're looking at maybe about 15 to a good 18 minutes to get downtown, depending on what time they have to be at work. But a lot of research that I've done with clients is that a lot of them have the scale where they get there pretty much earlier than a lot of people before traffic gets heavy. So it generally only takes them about, 15 to 18 minutes to get downtown. But again, that's going to be about 400,000. to
Okay.
get the 3-2 brand new. And it's going to probably be about 1,800 to 2,000 square feet. So you're definitely going to get a lot more square footage in Hoover than you would in Avondale. But again, we're talking about the convenience of how close you are to downtown.
Great, right. And I would say another factor people consider are the amenities in the neighborhood. In Homewood, they definitely have the community centers, and there's one right there in West Homewood, which is beautiful.
Yes.
And then, of course, I find that there might be more. There's the Hoover Center. There's a recreational center there that's very popular as well. Are there certain amenities that some neighborhoods have that you find people enjoy more than others?
So definitely more of I would say like your family scale. They definitely enjoy like the Homewood Hoover rec centers, the swimming pools, the walkability to shops and restaurants and ice cream shops. That within itself is a big plus when it comes to like the Homewood Hoover area. But then when you look at the Avondale area, you still have a lot of the shops and restaurants and but there you're going to find more of a atmosphere of where it's more of a young professional kind of crowd. So
Right.
you may get someone that has maybe 1 or 2 kids, but once they have this 1 or 2 kids and about to head on their way to the third, that's when they're going to move out because you have
Right.
more, you have your breweries down there, you have a lot of fun events that happen downtown. So it attracts more of your young professionals down there. Or you will see some retirees down there too, just because of the walkability to the restaurants and the breweries.
Empty nesters and things like
There you go.
that. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What do you find in terms of the downtown specifically, maybe that empty nesters really like, or young professionals, if they're a couple who don't have children yet? What type of what are the price points downtown?
So downtown, what I've noticed, gosh, because I've recently just sold a condo here, and what I'm looking at is that you have a lot of young professional couples and then empty nesters that love the convenience of not having to do any type of maintenance. That's the biggest thing I hear is that, hey, we don't want any maintenance, but we love the convenience of going downtown to if we want to go out and catch a happy hour from 5 to 7 or catch some type of social event. That's primarily what people are looking for right now. A lot of your 2 bedrooms right now can land in the upper, high 2s, low
Okay.
3s. And then 3 bedrooms are definitely starting like at about 350 on up for condos. And again, your HOA fees or condo fees, however you want to call them, they can range anywhere from like $250 on up, just depending on the size of unit. Because if you're getting a 2 bedroom versus a 3 bedroom, it's going to be a little bit more of a cost. If you
Sure.
have a parking spot, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to downtown is parking. So they would charge extra for a parking space. And now I just, one that I interviewed the other day, they have actual storage units now that they're actually having at these condos. So they bring in actual storage units, and that's a little bit extra fee per month just because people may want to store bikes or anything else that they have that's of a large equipment. And so they're offering so much more now. But yes, downtown, you're definitely looking at the high 2s to begin with a 1 or 2 bedroom.
Okay, great. We do have some people sometimes who are interested in the Indian Springs area. I find that's definitely going to be a longer commute, but for people who want a lot more acreage, if that's something that they're interested in, is that where you typically direct people, or do you caution them about living that far out if there's only one way to get in and out of town?
So what I do is this, I definitely caution them and let them know that it's definitely a longer commute and you're definitely taking a chance with traffic, because one traffic accident can throw you off by a good 30 to 40 minutes when you're dealing with I-65. So I always caution that. What I have found though, is that sometimes you may have someone that buys their dream home out in the Indian Springs area, but then they may just get like a 1 or 2 bedroom condo downtown. So that way, when they're on the 5 days on, 5 days off schedule, they stay 5 days on downtown, and then they go back out to their home in Indian Springs for the 5 days off with their family. So
That's awesome. That would be great. Wow, I
yes.
can see how that would be perfect for just the right person.